sea of the red, white, and blue.
It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome into Veterans Issues, Ken Rollins. Today we're going to talk about Law Enforcement Week. We've got three guests today. That's unusual, but Chief Bill Partridge is here, Lori Lehman Cook, I'm just going to say Lori Cook, and Kim McCarson. That's my guest. We'll be right back. Get that pen. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. We are going to talk today about the Law Enforcement Week upcoming here in the middle of May. And we got three people on here that have various but the same duties in that. My first guest, the first guy we're going to meet is Bill Partridge. He's been on here many times. We're talking about a lot of things. Bill, like a co-host, and Lori Lehman Cook, she is the, this is her first time on here with us, and Kim McCarson, her first time. Welcome to the show, Bill.
Thank you, Ken.
Lori.
Welcome.
Kim.
Thank you, Ken.
Y'all want to do that again? No. Yeah. You did good. First time. That's Hollywood next. After you get that down, that's it. Let's start off, Bill. We got two events going on up there. Well, three actually. Some of y'all can talk about that. But after they eat at 12 o'clock, we're going to dedicate the official Law Enforcement Memorial for the state of Alabama. The folks out there just see it for the first time. That in Centennial Park, 17th and Quintard, is located, and it's just about finished as we do the show today. That's going to have 530 plus
537 names.
537 that were killed in the line of duty in law enforcement. Now that includes police, deputies, prison guard. Is that all of them?
That's all of law enforcement combined.
Okay, and that's we're going to dedicate that at noon on the 13th of May. In case you're getting, that's why I said a pen. You're going to need to write these dates that we throw them at you today. May the 13th at 11 o'clock. Kim or Lori, one you want to talk about? They're going to feed some folks up there, right?
We will feed all officers that week, starting May the 9th through the 13th. We'll feed them lunch every day from 11 to 2.
Where are you going to feed them?
At the City Meeting Center, Monday through Thursday. On Friday, we will eat from 11 to 1, at Centennial Park in conjunction with your unveiling. We've moved it to that day, so we'll have a casual lunch that day.
Bill, you ain't got an old big police uniform somebody threw away that I can wear up there.
Yeah, we can probably find you one, Ken.
I got free food. Look.
Free food.
But now this is just for law enforcement, right?
It is just for
I didn't know you do that every day. That's great.
We'll do it. We'll feed them lunch every day. Those, we encourage them to come out every day and eat lunch. This year we've got sponsors. We're gonna have Classic on Nobles Catering, Dad's, Top of the River, McDonald's, and who's the other one? Struts. I'm sorry, Struts.
Well,
yeah.
see, we never talk about businesses on here because unless they buy in commercial time, but it's already done.
Well,
you can't put
we're
it back.
making work on that.
I'm just kidding you.
Well, they are paying for the lunches, so.
But not the airtime that you just gave them, that big commercial you did.
I'm sorry.
Kim, what?
You didn't tell me about the rules before we started.
I'm just teasing you. Don't worry about it. Kim, what are you doing on that? Are you helping feed them?
Well, we are. We have a group of ladies at the courthouse that are helping Lori. And Lori's our chairman and does a great job as chairman. Chairperson. I don't know if we can make it without her. But yes, we just assist her. She tells us what to do and we listen to her. Yeah. But it's a lot, yes. A lot of decorating, yes, and we're in addition to feeding them, we're giving all of the officers a door prize during that week too. Everyone in the county will have a door prize.
So uniform.
We're going to get you one. You'll have a VIP place there, Ken. Yeah. We love you.
That is something I know that it started there. I don't know, when did it start? About 6 or 7 years ago? Eli started up there?
He did. This will be our third annual event.
He was still the county commissioner when he was doing that.
No, sir, he didn't start it until he came to the courthouse.
Well, what was that? I went over there for a meal one time that he was putting together.
They did have a luncheon for, I think they did have a luncheon there. Yeah. But this is the first time we've actually included the door prizes. So I guess if you call the luncheon, he did start that.
The good door prizes?
Yes.
They're not.
In fact, Mr. Henderson told me before I left that Lowe's has donated a barbecue grill. And we have a Honda generator that's been donated and lots of cash
Wow.
prizes.
Cash.
Not just any door prize. These are nice door prizes.
That's going to be, that's something I'd like to say. I know, I'm glad it's happening because we talked, I know Bill's on Facebook with him. I'm sure y'all on Facebook too, but the things that go on about law enforcement, just what happened up in Florence. I think you knew the guy, didn't you, that just got shot in the face. I mean, officer pulls up in the middle of the night and you don't know what's on the other side of that window when you roll it down. And this guy, I mean, I read some of the things that how it got happen. All of them are bad, but you never know. And all these officers out there, and how many you got, Bill?
64.
64. And every one of them, yeah, you're responsible for it. And we've had some awful things happening, but this is not we're not up there about Blue Lives Matter, and we're just showing that we appreciate our law enforcement all
right.
the time. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing political. It's all about showing that. What is the law enforcement memorial? Kizzy, if I could bring up the tag, we got the legislation down, the tag that you see on the screen. Bill got that tag through, designed it, got it down to the legislature, and Representative Randy Wood ran it through. And things just don't happen without somebody's thought process going out and thinking outside the box. And by doing that, we were all surprised when we sat down at the Chamber of Commerce here recently and found out we had enough money off of that tag sales to build this law enforcement arm. Which you shocked, Bill? Was you
I was very shocked.
Yeah, I was. I mean, we really didn't know what it was going to cost or anything. We sat down in the morning. We just had a regular meeting, and we had the builder and we had all the players, and just found out that we had enough money to build it. And what an awesome feeling to say everybody raised a hand and made a motion. Let's go forward. So we'll build the law enforcement memorial, and then we'll go on with others, firefighters, and we'll go into the Iraq and Afghanistan. But having that official law enforcement memorial for the whole state of Alabama located here is a special thing, and I hope that everybody in the community and everybody's watching the show across the state will realize that what it's like for a state like Alabama to have its own memorial. You know, everybody can't make it to Washington, D.C., but I think ours will be, that one's concrete, the one I've seen up there. I think ours will be, give that in a run for its money, if you will. And nobody ever wants to see a name put on there, but we got it there. And that tag, so if you get a chance to buy that tag, realize that not only are you showing that you support fallen law enforcement, but you're helping build this memorial and the things it's going to take for us to do that. Lori, when they come down to the T-shirt thing you got here, I got one in front of the set. You were selling shirts. We not got much time in this segment, but if somebody wants a shirt, is there a number they can call to get?
There's a number. They can call me directly at 256-231-1757, and we'll make arrangements to either deliver them or they can come to the courthouse. They're available there from open to closed every day.
1757. That's the year I was born.
It was?
Yeah, but no, that's those shirts. I can't see them from here, but it's I saw one out there, and you got one in your lap there, and everybody that's wearing one of them, you don't have to say nothing, but I support law. It says it for you. You know, that's not going to get you out of a ticket, though, would it?
It will not.
I need a second
No
opinion from Bill
guarantees.
Parks. We got to go to commercial.
It
Be
can't
right back.
hurt.
Find out if we can get to wear a shirt and get out of a ticket. Be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Ken Rollins. We're talking to Lori Cook, Kim McCarson, Chief Bill Partridge. We're talking about Law Enforcement Day on the day that we're really talking about the events. Everything is May the 13th starting at 11 o'clock up there in the park, 12 o'clock, and in the evening they have a candlelight vigil with the Women Behind the Badge. I believe that's one that's handling that. So as we were talking, we was trying to figure out if wearing that shirt, the blue shirt, would get you out of a ticket. The results were that the answer is no. We're not going to get you out of a
That
ticket.
is correct.
So you wear the shirt, you still got to obey all the laws according to the chief down there.
Yes.
So, Chief, you got in Oxford, I saw something yesterday that made me feel good. Oxford is one of the 25 safest cities in the state of Alabama.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Made the top
Congratulations.
25 this year. That was a good thing. I'd like to see it in the top 10, but I'll
Yeah,
take
you-
the top 25.
Out of 60, is that 67 counties or is
It's
that?
out of 330 some odd cities in the
Wow,
state.
that's even better. That's even better. Yeah. Well, I can see why. It's there's a lot of effort went into what you and your guys and girls do down there. There's a certain amount of pride that each one of them wears on their shoulder every day, and I'm not just saying that because you hear, how I feel about that. You got the guy on the bicycle just amazing me, Jerry Lyons. That guy on his own time on the weekend is out there working out, climbing steps and everything else with that bike, impressing little kids, showing them that it's okay to like police.
Community service.
Yeah, it's the things that I've noticed about what you guys do is getting out there in the community, and we don't have that in the home anymore. I guess y'all notice this. They don't have parents sitting down and saying, law enforcement is your friends. That's up to us to have to do that, But anyhow, how many years you say, Kim, did you say y'all been doing this, feeding?
At the courthouse, it's our third year.
Third year.
Third year,
Okay.
yes, sir.
How many more years going to do it?
Every year we can.
Every
Every year that we're there, every year that we have someone that's willing to
Yeah.
take on the task
Well,
to help us.
one of the things that I noticed in the meeting I was there at, the different sponsors that came in, Lori, the people that stepped up to the plate, that this is not cheap stuff that y'all doing. These shirts and the food and all the people that step up there to. I saw automobile dealer people there that stayed around. I talked to a bunch of them at the level. There's a lot of people stepping forward to make this happen. You're blessed.
Well, we are blessed, and you have to remember there's two answers to a question, yes and no, and you're never going to know unless you ask. So we don't mind asking everybody, and a lot of people are going to tell us no, but more people are going to say yes. They want to give us their support. We usually send out about 2,000 donation requests to businesses, not just local businesses, but some of the bigger corporations, and we get response back from as far away as New York. We get boxes from all over the place just saying, hey, we want to say thanks to. So this is our way of we want to be a part of the memorial, but we also want to be, our part is the appreciation part. We want to say we appreciate you guys every day getting up, putting on your uniform, leaving your family, and going out and protecting and serving the community.
Yeah. I'm gonna put a trick question on Bill to
Sure.
see how he reacts. Here you
Sure.
go. Bill, when you see in the future that wall unveiled and all its brightness and the panels with all the names on there, what does that make Bill Partridge feel like?
It tells me that the community cares about the people who are risking their lives every day to protect their cities and their communities. It also shows the officers that we care and that they're not going to be forgotten if they do pay the ultimate sacrifice. And it lets me know that the families of those individuals who are engraved on that wall have a place that they can come and know that their son or daughter is memorialized forever for the sacrifice that they did make.
Well, you've been the guy that's always up there washing the walls for the veterans before. I say veterans before the casualties that's up there. You've been doing that for years, and that's your way of giving back to the community. I guess I never really asked you why you do that, but I think in this, to be a part of it, the integral part that you played in this, getting this memorial, and as we go forward, the things that we need to do, what we hadn't talked about here today, hypothetically, if we lose a law enforcement officer, say Mobile, within 72 hours of the death, that name will be on that wall up there. And we will invite the family, correct me if I'm wrong, we will invite the family, I said we won't, but they will. They'll invite the family up here for a ceremony where the honor guard will unveil that name for the family, and they'll probably have bagpipes or something, but they will not just put the name up there and say it's on, come see it. Is that where we are, Bill?
Yeah, we'll hold a ceremony honoring the individual who was killed in the line of duty for their family and their department within 72 hours after the burial of that officer.
Mm-hmm. And the line of duty is determined by the
National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial, being killed in the line of duty. We're one of the few states left that did not have an official law enforcement memorial in the state.
Did not know that.
And now we will. So
Yeah, that's great. We don't need to be last in anything like that unless it's a crime. This is something that a lot of on the veteran side of the military names that's up there, they all got killed overseas. I've had mothers tell me that's where their sons or their brother is buried. We had some folks come over from Birmingham, found some names on there. She said, I don't even know, lady said, I don't know where my brother's buried, but now I know where he is. Oh. And she said, I guess she's from Midfield, although she comes down, she's been down here at least twice to see her brother's name. This is where he's more. And another lady, Miss Kilmartin, her son, she always looked at that as his grave for Alan Ray Chapin. And so Kim's dad and I have, we were partners in crime in doing all this. Eli Henderson, we build those memorials and see those families come up. And now we're going to see that. The people will be leaving things we hadn't thought about. This is a business thing, I think, but we hadn't thought about the people that leave items at the wall. We'll have a place somewhere we're going to have to store those. We don't know how big until we see what we got. But I'll tell y'all quickly, I was in Montgomery at a Vietnam wall, and I saw a state trooper pull up in an area that we had blocked off, nobody to come in there, no trespassing. He just drove that big old gray cruiser up in there and broke all the laws and got out and just kept on getting out. He's a big guy. I ain't about to say that to you. He walks over to the wall, he asked the guy for something, he found a name on the wall, he took his hat off and he laid it on the ground, he walked off. And I don't know what one of them hats cost you. I mean, I did, Bill?
A little over $100.
Yeah. Wow. He laid that hat on the ground, he drove off in the car, didn't say anything. Because there's thousands of names up there. He could have left anybody, but he wrote inside it, damn you, Joe, we were going to be cops when we got out. If you would have listened to the LT, the lieutenant, we'd be here together. I made it and you didn't. I don't know who Joe is, but I assure you one thing, he knows who Joe is. Right. Left that hat. I still got it somewhere. But things like that, at the Vietnam Wall, they leave boots, they leave beers, full bottle of beer. You know when a guy leaves a whole beer, that means something. If it's an empty bottle, one thing, but a full bottle. But there's all kind of things left, dog tags and things like that they leave up there. But it's going to be, we're down to a minute. What I leave out of this that you want to add, Bill?
I think you've covered pretty much everything, Ken. We urge the public to come out. We urge departments to come out on that day.
It is
a public event. We encourage the public to come out and show their support on the 13th at noon.
I'll even say this. You've been saying you support law enforcement. Let me see you. I'll see you up there on May the 13th, see your smiling face, and you can be there and really show that you quit talking about it, walk the walk. Lori?
T-shirts are for sale. Would love to see.
Phone number, I got 15 seconds.
256-231-1757.
There you go. What you got?
I would just like to thank all the officers in the county. I appreciate every day that they get up and they risk their lives for us. And I just hope that everybody comes out to the memorial. And I'm just so proud of Calhoun County.
And if they don't come out,
I'm going to come get them.
There you go. We got to go to a break, come back. We got more news that you can use. Stay right there. Be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Appreciate all the folks coming on here today, Lori and Kim and Bill Partridge. And we were this law enforcement thing. I was going to remind you on here on my news you can use. First, I want to tell you that to write this down because of all things, last week I got another phone call. The new parking area over there at the Birmingham VA is 2415 2415 7th Avenue South, and the people need to put that in their GPS so you'll know how to get there. The Law Enforcement Memorial will be ready to unveil on May the 13th with all the names. It's going to be beautiful. It's on 17th and Quintard. We'll unveil it at 12 o'clock. You need to be there if you can. It's for the whole state. It's not a Anniston Memorial. It's the entire state Law Enforcement Memorial. So be there at 12 noon on May the 13th. On 11th, at 11 a.m. you can come up there and sneak a bite of food and pretend that you're a police officer, I guess. I don't know how that'll work, but they are going to feed the law enforcement at 11, and we'll have the unveiling. I know that Attorney General Strange and I believe some other officials from down in Montgomery are going to be there. I don't think Bentley will be here, but anyhow, you get a chance to buy that when it's time to buy your next tag. That law enforcement tag goes good with any color automobile you got out there, and you don't have to be in law enforcement to get that. So when you purchase that tag, you're saying you're doing two things. You're demonstrating that you really, truly support law enforcement, especially the fallen law enforcement, and you're helping build this memorial and keep it up as we need to. I remind you about the Kia stores. Kia stores of Anniston and Gadsden. They are owned by a veteran, and they take care of veterans there. Now, the bill, a lot of you are asking about that Senate Bill 287. Senator Dale Marsh hit the gavel, would not allow any debate on it, so that went through the Senate 23-11. That's the one that takes the veterans' money away from them here in the state of Alabama. However, it's in the House. Representative Klaus has House Bill 313. If you see this show and you have a chance to give a call to Steve Klaus and call your state representative and tell them to say no to HB 313. What that does, that attaches the money that we use to take care of our veterans in Alabama, attaches it, uses it for collateral for 33 years to pay back a $800 million no-bid contract, a boondoggle, for Robert Bentley, and at this time, the two culprits, and I say it with no shame, is Dale Marsh. Dale Marsh did not allow that to be debated, and I want to know why he thinks that convicts are more important than Alabama veterans. So I've invited him to be on the show, and maybe he'll take me up on it. Dale, if you're watching, you're welcome on here. There'll be no gotchas. If you want to come over here and explain to your constituents why you did that, you're so welcome to do so. And just give me a call. You got my number. And I got yours, so you just give me a call when you can. And I have a cane that people have asked me about. It's got an eagle head on it. If you'd like to have one of those, the fellow that makes it out here on 202. You can call him. His name is Jack York. It's 237-4743. That's the Eagle cane. Chief Partridge got one. I don't know why he didn't need no cane, but he went out someday. But the eagle looks like the Oxford logo, so that might have something to do with it. If you got some funds that you want to help contribute to this memorial, send it to the Community Foundation, P.O. Box 1826, Anniston. P.O. Box 1826, Anniston, 36202, and put the word Centennial Memorial on it, and that'll help with your event. So this week, the salute goes out to, if we can go to camera one, I want to get the salute from all of us. We're going to salute all the law enforcement officers for keeping us safe. Here we go. We'll see you next week right here on Veterans Issues. Salute. How about that?